the month of October. Happy Halloween, everyone. And as fate would have it, we are recording this episode on Halloween night. So happy Halloween to you, Cass. How are you doing?
I am ready to go back in time.
And happy Halloween to you, Wesley.
Happy Halloween, bro. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood and just got better.
We're going to take our way through the events of the creepy month of October 1992, starting with this. Ross Perot is back. Did you guys know he left? Well, he's back. Ross Perot re-enters the presidential race after calling it quits, probably due to some heat that he got for the for some ill-advised statements that he made a couple months ago. Who knows?
That was you people. Was that the you people thing?
You think the you people thing made him back out? And he's like, nah, I'm in it. I got the money. I'm in it.
Who cares what the blacks say? It's 1992.
I still got the white vote. I should get back in.
I should be okay. Only
a lot of white people left.
A fifth of them vote, so who
Right.
cares? So we don't think that's what it was, or do you have some information other than?
I got no information other than I think he was just teetering. He's like, I don't even need this. I'm a billionaire.
And, billionaire. I don't need this crap.
But he comes back with a bang. Infomercials. Ross started buying up prime time slots for his infomercials, giving him what one would think somewhat of an edge over the competition, in that he did not need the fundraising that a typical candidate would need to pull off such a feat.
Sure. Pre-super PACs.
Right.
All right. So Ross Perot Systems, right? That's the name of his company?
I believe so. He's an oil tycoon. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. I thought Perot Systems.
I mean, he's from Texas, so I just automatically assumed oil.
I always assumed oil also. I always assumed oil also. But for whatever reason, I'm thinking the name of his company is Perot Systems. I know that's a company somewhere. And I thought they had something to do with tech. Nothing about Ross Perot says tech to me. And that could be me being a prick about who he is as a man, but whatever.
Just imagine tuning in to watch the latest episode of Golden Girls, because I can't think of something else that would be on.
You can't think of a better show. How about that?
Well,
boom.
Okay. Well, a young Wesley's tuning in to watch this week's episode of the Golden Girls for whatever reason.
See what semi-weird or erotic thing Blanche is going to say.
And instead, he is greeted with the equivalent of a PowerPoint presentation from one Ross Perot.
I promise you, he wouldn't have made it.
How many
4 or
seconds?
5. That's what I'm saying. 15, 20 seconds.
You don't want to talk
maybe
about real
depending
money?
on where SNL is. Maybe long enough for me to realize it's not Dana Carvey. You know what I mean?
Oh, is this Dana Carvey? No.
I'm good.
Time to press power on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks, Mr. Perot.
Shifting gears.
Get richer.
I've got.
Was that really his plan? Or
I mean, this is
Go ahead.
I've just been looking at the little Pac-Man graphs, but not really absorbing the data, which is
I'm sure it was a good
probably
idea.
the fault of most of the company. Let me just fast forward. You may be thinking that, well, this is just the beginning. Let me fast forward about 20 minutes in. Oh, I just did. So you may not see. Clinton is up here doing stupid stuff. Perot is doing less stupid stuff. If you can follow me on the graph for a second. Here's Bush. Bush is doing a little less stupid stuff. But me, minimal stupid things.
Minimal stupid stuff. I couldn't be doing less stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I started off doing some stupid stuff, but I've decreased the amount of stupid stuff that I'm doing.
Stupidity
No
over time.
dumb here.
Started out dumb, not so dumb. All right, whatever.
Remember
Ross
that at
Perot.
the polls. And let me ask you
Started
guys.
at the bottom, now we're here.
Started here and trying to take us to the bottom. You guys gotta let it happen. So we all watched a little bit of Saturday Night Live, or at least as much as we could in 1992. Tell me if you guys remember this story. So this is when Sinead O'Connor in her no, this is a notorious piece where, as Saturday Night Live went, you would generally get 2 musical performances by the guest of the night.
Right.
So he probably had off the relative success of a Prince song that she became famous for. The guest here is Sinead O'Connor. This is, I believe, it's her second song, and it is completely what's the word I'm looking for? There's no music. There's no backing music.
Acapella.
Acapella. I didn't know if this qualified as acapella, but anyway. So at the end of it, she is, the song is somewhat political and somewhat. I don't debate her message, right? But at the end of this song, let me see if I can find the exact moment.
What did she say? I'm trying to, like, this whole time I'm trying to remember what she did.
Here's
Must
what
have been
she did.
anti-war, anti-pope. That's what it was.
And
Ireland lost its mind.
Rips up this photo of the Pope and says, "Fight the real enemy." And
she's so pretty.
And that was not okay with most religious groups. She took major heat for this.
Yeah, whatever.
But to credit her, the wrongdoings of the Catholic Church, not to speak of the Catholic religion negatively in any way, but we're just talking about the known issues with, child abuse. We'll just put it that way.
Issues? What issues?
Exactly, right?
The Catholic Church has had issues?
They've had some bad press here and there, right?
Fake news.
Okay, well, Sinead didn't think so, and she was trying to draw attention to it years before it was okay to do. So she...
Okay, so is that what this was about? Was it about the Catholic Church and pedophilia? Was it about the Catholic Church and not tending to its... What's the word here? Is it partitioners? That's not the word, is it?
I don't...
Flock, sure. That, lacking a better word, I'll ride with flock. What was she so mad at the Catholic Church about?
It's a great question. Yeah, I mean, the news of it just says that this incident occurred 9 years before John Paul II acknowledged the sexual abuse within the church. One would be led to believe that this was about that.
I wonder if she's a Catholic and something happened to her.
Sure, she's Irish, right? Wasn't that like the thing? It was
right. It's Conor McGregor's girl. She sings him to the ring sometime, or to the octagon.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Did not know that.
Yeah, she's beautiful, man. I like Sinead O'Connor.
I just say that to reference the Irish pride.
I'm with you.
Catholicism's pretty big in the Irish community.
For sure.
Naturally so, yeah. Yeah, very much so. If you think about the imagery and that kind of thing that's generally associated with a lot of that Irish culture, is that the right word? But
sure.
Yeah.
Amy's raised Irish Catholic.
Yeah, so I don't think this means she's not a Catholic.
Is Irish Catholic.
As is the case with many religions, one can support the religion without supporting some of the pillars or institutions.
I'm going to say this, though. 1992, Wesley? September 1992, October 1992, Wesley? 0 F's given about this on multiple levels.
I remember.
One, Sinead O'Connor could care less.
Right.
SNL live performance could pretty much care less, if I'm being honest. In 1992, I could care less about the Catholic Church. Who cares? Whatever. None of this mattered to me at all.
I remember watching this live and just thinking it was a boring performance, if I'm being honest, at age 12, 13, whatever we were there, not realizing the backlash that was coming her way. And only really in doing the research for today kind of appreciated what she was trying to do. Moving on.
Love to anyone that fights injustice.
Let's pick it up. Let's get a little more. Check out this play.
Check out this play.
This
name that player.
Points to either of you guys that can name this player. It happens quick. I gotta give it credit. It happens pretty quick. Let's look at it again because it happens so quick. I'm gonna pause this from the start.
Okay.
And here we go. Boom. 3 yards deep in the end zone. 1, Lewis Oliver.
Okay.
This is the record-tying longest interception at this given point. I think we've gotten one from, I want to say one of the Ravens players did this a few years ago from like 108 yards back.
I don't know. If anyone did it, you want to say Ed Reed, right? But
oh man, Ed Reed would be a front runner, but I actually think it was, last name Smith is sounding right to me right now, and I can't think of it.
Rod Smith?
No, I mean, I would say it was in the last 5 years, although Rod Smith, pretty nice resume as well. So I won't say there hasn't been a better one, but this was a big deal at the time. And again, I got to give credit to the guy. I mean, we're only 22 seconds into the video when he's gone end zone to end zone with a 103. and celebrating at that point.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a big body too. He got on down the field.
Big dude to be moving.
Looks like a linebacker.
The good thing about an interception when it's that short of a field, though, is you've only got to get through one line.
Right. I mean, it's goal to go, and you got your O lineman, and the quarterback's the fastest guy there. So once you're away from the wide receivers, who, good luck bringing this guy down. Anyways, big dude. Was he probably a safety?
Sure.
I mean, they don't list his. I'm going with strong safety. They don't. I don't see his position listed here.
I mean, the position in which where he was playing and his number leads me to believe he'd be a strong safety, free safety type player.
Yeah,
beautiful
okay,
pick there.
He's a safety. I'm with you. All right.
And just gone.
Who's that quarterback? Jim Brown?
Jim Kelly?
Not Jim Brown.
Right?
Jim Kelly. There you go. I'm guessing. And all I did was spin the wheel of Bill's quarterbacks.
The Bills quarterbacks that you can remember. This is a very small wheel.
That is.
I think the wheel is just Jim Kelly, right?
It's just Jim Kelly.
Okay, let's be honest. We're just gonna try Jim Kelly. Is it
gonna work? Ryan Fitzpatrick, Bills quarterback at some point?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, absolutely. Ryan Fitzpatrick has played for everyone except the Eagles and Patriots at this point. Right?
All the teams. That Fitzmagic show.
Fitzmagic is
never quite good
Miami
enough
right now. Yeah, he's trying to ruin their chances of getting to he's trying so hard to win a game.
Good job.
The organization is trying so hard to lose all the games.
They're going to end up benching him because he's trying too hard.
Don't be surprised. I mean, they just traded away their running back to take away his run game. Kenyon Drake's playing tonight for the Cardinals. So they're doing everything they can do. They're trading everybody away.
Good. I'm happy for Drake though.
Yeah.
Reminds me, have you guys seen the movie? I know this is completely off target. Sorry about the tangent. Have you seen the movie Moneyball?
No, that's the baseball movie with Brad Pitt, right?
It's the baseball movie.
Analytics.
Yeah, movie. Brad Pitt. He's building his team based off statistics and analytics. So while there's a player who is probably the best hitter on the team, I believe. I think he was the first baseman. Statistically, he doesn't get on base enough. And so what the Billy Beane wants to do is increase the percentage of getting on base, which increases the percentage of you scoring a run and things along that matter. And the manager refuses to play the person that Billy Beane brought in who has a better on base percentage. And he keeps starting the first baseman that Billy Beane's telling him not to. So Billy Beane just goes in one day and he's like, "You're starting, the guy I want you to start." And he's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Yeah, you are, because I just traded the other guy. So you have to start who I want you to start now."
There it is. There's
the disconnect between management and
the players,
right? Yeah.
Or management, the owners, and the players. Because all I hear in that whole story is, screw the owners and screw management. They moved that guy and his family for God knows what reason, because some guy refused to make a lineup change. Right. So some poor guy had to uproot his whole life.
Being petty.
The life of a sports athlete.
That's right. So athletes, get your money, get your money, get your money.
Never fault them for trying to get their money, because
the team's trying to get their money.
Upper management's looking out for whatever is in their best interest and does not necessarily care about these players. So, what you guys know about filibusters?
I know that in Parks and Rec there was a great filibuster talking about Star Wars.
That's right. That's right. That's probably my. If you were to ask me about filibusters, I would have thought of the same episode of Parks and Rec. As a matter of fact.
Sure, I got Ted Cruz. I'll take Ted Cruz for 1,000, Alex.
Yeah, I remember it, because Ted Cruz wore his comfy shoes that day, right? So he'd stand up there and talk all day.
You guys calling Ted Cruz for 10 hours. Well, what if on October 5th, 1992, New York Senator Alphonse D'Amato filibusters for 15 hours and 20 minutes?
Check you out, Alphonse.
Yeah, which would hold the record, at least at this time. I'm not saying no one's exceeded that since then, but man.
The question is, what did he read? What's the most ridiculous soundbite to be gathered from 15 hours of filibustering?
Unfortunately, I could not find any footage of his actual filibuster from 1992. I'm not sure if it was just not recorded or but
Just decides to read the Bible, maybe. That's what I would, if I was a politician and I wanted to filibuster, that's what I would do.
Is there not any rules in place to be
That's
like,
what I was wondering. I was wondering if you could do that.
you know how I'm thinking of those like plays or whatever where they put that big wooden hook out there and just drag the person off the stage. Like that's what should happen to you if you.
Sure. I feel pretty confident that Ted Cruz or one of these other people, like I think Ted Cruz during his filibuster read like some Dr. Seuss or something. Now, whether he read it or had to recite it would be the question in my head, which would kind of join with, is it against the rules to read a book or something during that time? But, who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, no idea.
A lot of people know, but I don't.
Staying in New York, interesting science event. The Peekskill meteorite. A 13-kilogram meteorite lands in the driveway of a Knapp residence in Peekskill, New York, destroying the family's 1980 Chevy Malibu. This meteorite could be seen all the way from Kentucky to New York. Here's some footage of it from, I think, a local high school football game. We got a couple aerial shots of it. It looks like the NBC The More You Know logo flying through the air.
Yeah, it does. That's kind of cool that so many people saw it, and you're like, hey, you remember that thing we saw last night?
It landed in my yard, and this is Superman confirmed, basically.
Superman confirmed.
There is a superhero among us now. It's like, I don't know if it's just because it's big, it looks like it's going in slow motion in some of these shots. All right, circling back to the beginning of the show, since we have Ross Perot back in the mix, we have our first ever three-way U.S. presidential debate. George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot in a triple threat match for the U.S. presidency.
Bill's like, it's not my first three-way.
Ouch. He probably said that to somebody. I totally believe that was a line that may have come from Slick Willie.
Perot, is this your first three-way? Not mine.
George Bush and Perot in the back just thinking he's insufferable. Probably playing saxophone with his sunglasses on until they bring him up on stage.
Do we consider Texans Southern?
I think so. I mean, the accent is similar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an all-Southern presidential election, huh?
That's right. Arkansas, Texas, yeah.
Texas.
Interesting.
This was I don't know. Compared to, I don't know. I guess I can only really speak from the last election because I was okay with the first Obama versus McCain. Was solid in many ways, but we haven't had a debate where I could just sit around and respect all the entries in many years. So at least I give this a nod for that.
Sure. I'm pretty sure that Clinton was just up there being super smooth, swag dripping off of him.
Absolutely.
While Perot nasaled his way through, and Bush tried.
Bush probably tried, and Bush was, the defending champ, so to speak. Perot probably came in too rich to take advice and couldn't connect with anybody. Right, whereas Bill Clinton was a master at that.
I think Perot gets heavily blamed for stealing votes from Bush, because that has to have been what happened, right?
It would be fair to say that the Republican Party might have put some of that on Perot, because there would have been some real, on the monetary front at least, on the money side of politics, you would think that there would be some similarities between Perot and the Republican Party. They may have felt like Perot handed this to Clinton just by dividing the votes. But Clinton had a ridiculous opposition on the second term, didn't he? I don't even remember who ran against Clinton in '96. We'll get there, so we'll remember that soon enough.
It wasn't Bob Dole, was it?
Was it? It might have been. Yeah. And Dole's super likable, but you couldn't believe that he was going to make it through the whole presidency. I think it was the problem there. All right, let's knock out a little bit of sports news from the 92. On October 11th, prime time, Deion Sanders plays for the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Braves on the same day.
Same dang day. All right.
A classic Bob Costas here. Is that OJ?
That's totally OJ.
Gotta be, right?
Or one of those brothers. That's either OJ or one of those brothers.
I mean, it's blurry,
That
but
was
man, does that look like OJ Simpson.
Yeah, that was OJ.
No, I don't. I guess Deion was, I won't say he was a bad baseball player. He had the speed. You know, I don't know how his hitting was. I'm going to give him mediocre, above average baseball player.
I didn't watch baseball. I thought he was supposed to be pretty good. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of stills.
Obviously, excellent cover corner. But credit for the man playing a game, hopping in a plane and heading home. And what do you think? Break it down for me, OJ.
Yeah, he played some baseball.
Yeah.
Sat around for a while playing the world's slowest game, and then he hopped in a luxury jet in a leather seat that I'm sure reclined, with a model beside him,
Headed on down.
and somehow managed to fly down to Miami to play football. I don't know how he managed to do that, but he somehow managed to.
How does he do it?
He caught a lot of hate for doing this.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? They were, I think, on both sides of it, right? Like if you were a baseball fan, you were like, he's not focused enough. Why are the Braves having? And if you're a football fan, you're like, he's not. He doesn't even know what we're doing today. What?
Sanders was going to be there, and he is. Well,
you know, Sanders is yeah. And I don't even think he played in. Was it base? He didn't play in one of the games. He just was on the bench.
This is during the playoffs, so that this is during the baseball playoffs, I should say. So, and Atlanta is going, yeah, this would have been during the National League Championship game, where we will, spoiler alert, Atlanta's going to win and beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3. Where over in the AL, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to beat the Oakland A's to be the first Canadian team to be in a World Series, much less, host one. We've got our World Series, Toronto Blue Jays versus the Atlanta Braves in October of 1992. And Toronto is going to beat the Braves 4-3 in Game 6 at Atlanta. However, this is this is the first World Series played outside of the U.S. when it's played in Toronto, and then the first non-U.S. team to win the World Series. And there you have it. I know you guys are baseball aficionados, so.
Well, I was a massive Braves fan during this time, having just moved from Atlanta.
Easy to be a Braves fan too, because they were loaded back then.
We were 15 minutes from Fulton County Stadium, and I was devastated. I was so mad at the Toronto Blue Jays.
Seems like we went to Game 6 at least, so it was a fairly good series. And Atlanta was like bridesmaid for a while, weren't they? Didn't they make it to a lot of World Series before they won?
They were the team of the 90s. They lost. Yeah, they lost a couple.
They lost many a World Series.
They finally won one, and I feel bad not remembering the year.
Like mid-90s, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like 96. But I could be wrong. I remember Marquise Grissom caught the final out in center field.
In what would have to be the most nervous catch of your life. Like, I can win the World Series. I just got to do my job and catch this normal pop-up. Back to something that Wesley will appreciate, being an Eagles fan. Mr. Randall Cunningham.
Man.
Yep. He sets the NFL quarterback scramble record of 3,683 yards. I gotta believe that this has been destroyed since then, but I could be wrong. I didn't fact check that, but you got to think guys like I don't know, Michael Vick is the first name to come to mind, but
yeah, I'm sure Vic smoked it. If not Lamar Jackson last year, but probably
Lamar
not.
Jackson was darn near going to break it in the course of 2 seasons. You know, everything that Cunningham did over his career, but it's a different game now.
Totally.
Although to watch these Cunningham
Randall
highlights, like you wouldn't know that he was playing in 1992 versus in 2019.
Yeah, Randall was that dude, man.
I want to see his speed rating on Madden because this guy is fast.
Hey, when I had him on my MUT team, I had an equal rated Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick, and RC was out there for me.
Yeah, and Randall Cunningham probably could throw some dimes and not fumble the ball every time he was looked at sideways.
Sure.
So,
well, you know, that's an argument for another day. You know, Michael Vick broken on that game.
Yep. I could talk Cam Newton with you on Madden 19 as well and tell you how he's actually my starting quarterback. He's that good now. What is wrong with this game? You know, all the years where he was nothing but a disappointment for us, and now that he's hurt and sitting at home, he's better than Brady in the current game. But that's again a different story for a different day. And going real different story, let me talk to you about Madonna for just a moment. She released a book. She released a book in October of 1992.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape?
Well, you got...
No, that's not the name of it. Hold on, wait. Sex book, okay.
It's just sex. I am, you know, I try to keep our show PG-13 at worst, so I can't show you a lot of this book. I think I can get away with a page or two.
Is it like the Kama Sutra or something?
Yeah, couldn't get away with that much of it. So, this is a bad book. All right, this is the word that comes to me.
Coffee table book.
Yeah, coffee table book for you know, a porn star or something. This is a raunchy book, and I wish that I could think of a better word for it. But, you name it, and there is Madonna in, you know, various levels of nudity, doing all the things that you may think and maybe some things that you would never think of in this book.
What?
Yep. And
I remember that being a thing, but okay.
Is this a safe page? Yeah, it's really, again, it's really hard to show a lot of this book and still feel okay about our channel.
It's on YouTube.
This book is on
the Guise of Art.
Yeah, this book is on YouTube on the Guise, and I'm a little blurred out here, but you can see, you know, all the naked Madonna you ever wanted, and more than you ever wanted in this book. Oh, yeah. And I
you know, I love her.
This will make sense later when I say keep this in mind. Okay, just keep it in mind. So there's that.
Keep that in mind when she's doing
and
some religious crap.
Again, because it is 1992, and speaking of religion and just conservative America, did you take some heat from this? Here's
some guy in Florida.
Some guy in Florida standing in front of Madonna. I didn't catch the picket signs there. Madonna.
God knows. Florida conservatives are hilarious.
Florida man. Never count Florida man out.
Never count Florida man out.
A real life superhero. Madonna is quite attractive in 1992.
I argue at least once a year her attractiveness, right? And I got one friend who disagrees with me, and it comes up regularly. My
opinion's up and down on it. It just, on any given day, depending on her look, I can change my mind. Which
she's Halle Berry, she is not. But yeah, whatever. If she randomly walks up and hits
Halle
on
Berry
you
every day, where Madonna's Halle Berry when she dresses up like Halle Berry.
With all due respect to Madonna, and again, I just said that I love her. There's not a single day of her life where she looked like Halle Berry.
Yeah, no.
Like it would take Halle Berry's worst day. That's not nice. I don't want to go too deep into that, but you know what I'm saying. With all that said, Madonna's cute.
Yeah, you're right.
If she flirted with me, I'd be cool with it. She's not celebrity hot. She's normal girl in town hot.
A lot of different looks just over the course of this Madonna in her own words video. This has to be a slightly older one. But
She's kind of plain.
yeah.
But whatever. Everybody is at the end of the day. Except Halle Berry.
Madonna is a star, no doubt. You know who knows a lot about stars? Galileo Galilei. Probably my best segue I've ever done in my life.
You proud of that one?
Yeah, I am. So let me tell you what's going on with my man Galileo Galilei. Now you may think, well, why are you talking about him in October of 1992? Aren't you some 360 years off? That's a different show, Daniel. Well, in October of 1992, the Roman Catholic Church finally has decided to reinstate Galileo Galilei after the excommunication that was decreed upon him, you know, some 360 years prior, for saying, "Hey, church, I've been looking at stuff through my telescope, and I think the Earth revolves around the sun." And the Catholic Church is like, "What is this nonsense that you're talking about? You better shut that down right away."
All the more reason to know.
Heresy.
Like, you know, I was just defending the Catholic Church, but then at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, like, all the more reason to know
in the Catholic
that they're
Church
not talking to God.
Yeah.
Right, like all the more reason, because there were people on the planet who already believed that, right?
Right.
So whatever.
What's it? It's called like the Copernican theory or something. I'm probably so wrong, so we'll definitely have to fact check that one. But yeah, I mean, and I am giving you the Cliff Notes version of it. But he comes to the church and is like, "Hey, I've been, you know, studying some astrology." They're like, "Whoa, Mr. Warlock, we don't need to do that." And,
right.
And it is a little more layered than this, but at its root, it's like, yeah, he's like, "Hey guys, the sun goes around, the Earth goes around the sun," and they're like, "Nah, man, you don't be spreading this lie, which goes against the scripture. So you're out of here." So
no, it doesn't.
The I guess the fun part about it, if you see what I'm saying here, is 360 years later, they decided to acknowledge they were wrong about that one.
It's almost like it came full circle.
Oh, all right, guys. I got one last bit of news for 1992. Michelle Robinson got married. She gets married to Barack Obama.
I was about to say, who is Michelle Robinson?
There you go. That's why I threw it at you like that, because it was.
I was eating a eating a Cheeto, so I couldn't say it. I was like, okay, well, who in the world is that?
So here we are. Yeah, 1992, and especially as political couples go, seemingly the most legit and awesome presidential married couple I can think of ever. So
yeah, if you guys can't tell or haven't been paying attention, we're in Alabama. So for better or worse, that's where we're at. And I enjoy political conversations and whatnot. I kind of check out on people when they just don't like Obama. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm okay with disagreeing with his
political stance, yeah.
With his political stance and all that. But when you get to the point where you're talking trash about him and his family, I'm like, okay, well, you're full of crap, because they were perfect. They were just flat out perfect. I loved everything about them. I disagreed with some of his political tactics, but as representatives of our country,
couldn't ask for better.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Just fucking flawless.
I was never once embarrassed that he was my president.
Never once. Right. Never once.
Right. Generally speaking, I skew conservative, and so there's things that the Democratic Party is going to do that I'm like, oh, please no, this is not a good idea. You will not find a better president and first lady to represent the country.
Yeah, I brought up Alabama because a lot of people just don't like him because he's a bad person, and
but
his wife is evil.
Yeah, right.
And his kids are spawn of evil.
He was the Antichrist when he was elected the first time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You have no idea.
I had this bro.
If you're not from Alabama, you can't appreciate the level of hate put upon this man.
During that election, there was this radio show that came on at night. It was like this preacher who'd been like a radio preacher for decades. And like Cass is saying, he was legit talking to his flock and telling them that Obama was the Antichrist and like going through the scriptures explaining how Obama was the Antichrist.
Oh, I think I've had that one too. Yeah.
You say this is when they got married or got engaged?
They were married on October. I saved it for the end because it was my best news of the month. But October 3rd is their anniversary date of their wedding. 1992 was at 27 years, right? So
cheers to them, bro.
And look young to be married 27 years.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, there you have it. So ending on a positive note here on the events of October 1992. Stick around because we've got so much more to cover. Up next is the television in October 1992.